Welcome to BBC London with me, Alison Earle. First this lunchtime, Thames Water has been fined more than £3 million after pleading guilty to pumping undiluted sewage into rivers. It happened near Gatwick Airport, causing the water to turn black. Well, our reporter Thomas McGill is here with more on this. And Thomas, just give us the background.
Yes, Alison, this all dates back to October 2017 when Thames Water released millions of tonnes of undiluted sewage from a treatment plant near Gatwick Airport into rivers in West Sussex and in Surrey, and that led to the death of 1,400 fish. Now, these heartbreaking pictures shows many of the dead fish retrieved from those rivers, and with so many dead, the court heard in this case that there was a significant and lengthy period of polluting that had gone unnoticed. And in February, Thames Water pleaded guilty, and then today they have been fined £3.3 million. Now, the company has expressed its unreserved and sincere apologies for the release.
And this comes at quite a difficult time for Thames Water, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Now, the company serves 15 million households across London and Thames Valley and is currently in talks with the government to secure extra funding after its chief executive resigned last week. Sarah Bentley stepped down over the company's poor performance regarding, guess what, this very topic of sewage spillages. So raw sewage discharges into rivers has become a big problem for the firm. This incident at Gatwick is not the only one in recent years. Now, Thames Water says it plans to invest £1.6 billion in sewage treatment works over the next 2 years.
Thomas McGill, thank you. More now on the controversial expansion of the ultra-low emission zone. It's due to be rolled out across all of London at the end of next month and has led to complaints and even protests. Well, now 5 Conservative councils are challenging it in the High Court. The Mayor Sadiq Khan says it's vital to clean up the capital's air. Tim Donovan is at the hearing and sent this report.
With anti-ULEZ protesters outside the court, the 5 local authorities, Hillingdon, Harrow, Bexley and Bromley in London and Surrey County Council outside London, have begun outlining their arguments as to why they say the Mayor's plans to expand ULEZ London-wide is unlawful, has been unlawful, the process of his implementation. They say as their first ground that this scheme was so considerable and has such impact that it should have been considered as a separate scheme, not a variation on what exists already, a variation in fact on the low emission zone introduced by Ken Livingstone back in 2007 dealing with heavy goods vehicles. There is also an argument, they say, about data and information and whether people had enough data about how this would affect them when there was a consultation, a 10-week consultation on this last year. There has been a focus by the lawyers for the councils on a figure. 91% of cars were forecast to be compliant with ULEZ by the end of 2023. But the council's lawyers have been questioning that, have said there was not the underlying data available to show that was true. And indeed, the judge has accepted, and that part of the session, that the figures in the documentation provided by TfL at the time seemed impenetrable. But he has asked, what difference would that have made? And lawyers for the councils have suggested that you need to be able to give an intelligent response to consultation, and if you don't have a clear picture, you can't do that. Later this afternoon, we're likely to hear about the scrappage scheme and whether there are enough details in that too. This hearing is due to go on today and tomorrow, but a judgment is not likely until the end of the month.
Tim Donovan reporting there. Now, it all started after the Second World War with the principle free at the point of use. Fast forward to present day and the NHS is now turning 75. All week we're focusing on the people who've dedicated their lives to it and those it's helped. Like Carlos, he works at King's Hospital and suffered a stroke while on duty. Well, thankfully he was treated by staff there. He's now been reunited with the team who saved him.
Hi, how are you? In May last year, I was working in control room where I lost my balance. When my colleague over there called the cardiac crash team, and they acted responsibly straight away, taken to ED resus. I'm Carlos Munsan. I'm a security officer for King's College Hospital. I have been for 30 years and 5 months.
You're looking really fit and really well and smiling.
I was on call and I had a patient who was Carlos. He presented to us with a stroke and we did some scans and we saw that he needed a treatment, and so I treated him.
I'm Jalita Munsam, I'm Carlos's wife, and I also work at King's College Hospital. I remember seeing that night. Shocking, scary. I don't remember how I got to the hospital, but it was, sorry. It was very challenging because suddenly from working at NHS, we became at the other side of the hospital, becoming a patient and relative of the patient. So it was very challenging, very different.
And then we take an even smaller tube through this, and then out the end of this, there's something called a stent.
This is the first time I saw those scans. It's absolutely amazing. And now I know the truth of what happened on the night, how complicated it was.
Tom and his team, and obviously the team in Resus, all stroke team, stroke response team, if not them, the life could be very, very difficult right now for Carlos and for us as a family.
Could not have been here today, but I'm here down to his team and him.
It's a big team who can certainly help patients, and sometimes we save patients' lives. That's absolutely true. And yeah, no, it does make you feel you're doing a very worthwhile job.
Finally, all eyes will be on centre court for an all-British first round. Ryan Penniston from Southend is playing one of his biggest matches yet as he takes on two-time Wimbledon champion Andy Murray. Ryan was given a wild card after showing impressive form.
I think back to last year and how amazing it was. It was such a great season, grass season for me, and yeah, I just take a lot of positives and try and remember those feelings and definitely want to have them again.
Best of luck to them both, but will the weather hold out for those playing? Let's find out with Lizzie, who's at Wimbledon. Lizzie.
Hello, thank you, Victoria. Well, it hasn't so far. You can see all the raincoats on, the umbrellas out. It's been tipping it down here in SW19. The covers have all gone on the outside courts. And I think the only place where you're going to get some really exciting tennis for perhaps the rest of the day will be on your TV at home, or if you're lucky enough to be on centre court or court number 1. In fact, Sir Andy Murray will be playing there later and Cameron Norrie will be on court number 1. Of course, will we get any play on the rest of the courts for the rest of the day? Well, I'm not too hopeful, though we do have a bit of a dry spell at the moment. But for the rest of this afternoon, we are expecting more rain to be pushing in from the west. It's going to combine with other weather fronts, so it could really pep up at times, and we could even hear a rumble or two of thunder. So it's not looking too tasty here, I'm afraid, for the rest of the day. That all pulls its way southwards and eastwards. So we'll see temperatures at high of 18 or 19 degrees. The rain pulls away tonight, but it's likely to carry on through the evening. And then it will gradually ease, but it's going to turn very windy for a while too. We'll see temperatures dip to around 9 or 10 degrees, but thank goodness it is a dry start to the day tomorrow. And tomorrow, a much more cheery looking day of weather. In fact, I think we could possibly get a full day's play in here, although there will be some showers just floating around as we go into the afternoon. So possibly a rain delay for a shower or two through the afternoon. Some sunny spells though, and temperatures will be higher, 20 or 21 degrees Celsius. Now, as we head into Thursday again looks largely dry. We could see 1 or 2 isolated showers, but mostly dry with some sunshine. And then on Friday, look at the temperatures start to shoot up, 26 or 27 degrees. It could get even warmer still perhaps on Saturday and Sunday, but the threat of some more showers as we go through the weekend.
Thanks, Lizzie. Well, that's all this lunchtime, but there's lots more on our website, including the award-winning Chelsea Garden. That's found a new home in East London. Asad will be here later. Until then, have a lovely afternoon.